Morning, everyone. Oh, it's kind of cute to be up here. Trying to find my height. Okay. Oh, karate chop. Okay. The theme for September is living everyday wonder. Work. Karate chop work. Okay. The topic for today is living your dream. Ernest Holmes, speaking on this topic, wrote, "All our beautiful dreams, all our wishing and praying for the material good will reach no higher level in our experience than our belief in the power of God and His willingness to help us." I believe that. Okay. And the Buddha once said, "Set your heart on doing good, do it over and over again, and you'll be filled with joy." Let's affirm together. The dream of God is awake and alive in me. Wonderful. Thank you. And I would like to welcome Dean up to give our service.
Thank you. Thank you, Uni. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Reverend Kathleen. You did a wonderful job at the announcements. You can continue, but we eagerly anticipate you returning to the podium. Good morning. Oh, okay. It's like this morning is like, okay, I cannot wait to get into the sanctuary and behold everyone and jump. All right, so now I'm here, and so now we're here in our home sanctuary, our place where we gather on Sundays. And if you are watching us today online, or watching us during the week, or whenever you're watching, or wherever you're watching it, from Tennessee to Tunisia, wherever you're watching, I see for you that the same components of our sanctuary here, the fellowship, the love, the opportunity to express our joy and our excitement, our passion, the opportunity to work through our grief is part of your home sanctuary as well, because that's what we've got going on here. We can look at all of the chairs and the wonderful artwork and our beautiful Seva team with hospitality, but what we've got going on here, bless you, Michelle, what we've got going on here is a sense of unity. A sense of unity. So this year, we're kind of unified in the idea of living everyday wonder. Living everyday wonder. How is that going for you? Yes, it's going well yes, Frank, we've got some thumbs up on living everyday wonder. What a great idea for me. It is, okay, I wake up, I put my feet on the floor in the morning, and I have an opportunity to be curious. Because Lord knows, I know how things are supposed to go, and what should happen, and what I expect, and what I want, and all of this other stuff that just gets me unsettled. But every morning, I have an opportunity to kind of align and be curious with love about what the day holds. What the day is going to hold, who I get to be in that day. And that moment, I get to kind of set in my mind a clarity about what's my intention, my divine urge, if you will, for the day. My divine urge for the day. Now, it's September, and so in September, we have the opportunity to look at work. Whoa. Work. The quickest way to living everyday wonder that I've found, as I said, is through curiosity. The quickest way to express my alignment with work is to align with peace. Because when you say the word work to me, I get a little tweaked. I'm from the Midwest. We get up before dawn. We go out to the fields. We milk the cows. We work, and then we go to sleep so we can get up in the morning to work and work again. And you talk about going into the darkness, into the winter. We shovel, we work. So I get a little tweak sometimes when I align myself with that collective consciousness of work. So I'm so grateful to be up here to talk about a different idea of work. This month is an invitation to embark on an adventure in the spiritual practice of looking for the good in our work. That idea of looking for the good in anything is a form of appreciation, and appreciation is a spiritual practice. So today, this whole week, this whole month, we're pointing at the idea of looking for the good in what it is that you do, and revealing every day, celebrating every day that idea of good in that which you do. Every task, every widget, every piece of paper stapled, every paragraph typed in, every call answered, every cow milked, to see the good in that. To see the good that is at the foundation of all that we do. Because, so when you take a look at work generally looks at an idea of we've got regular tasks that we're doing and we make money for it, right? It's your work. But your work is that and so much more, especially for those of us who are retired in here. Perhaps we're not doing a 9-to-5, but there's still our work, that passion that we bring to our life, to our love. And that's what we're focused on. So as Uni mentioned this morning, today we are looking at living your dream. No pressure. Are you living your dream? Because in the Midwest, we would define our dream, we would identify our dream, we would document our dream, we would get up before dawn and make sure our dream comes through. Oh, maybe I should disengage from that thought about work, and maybe I should I choose to engage with that idea that there's such good in the work that we do. Living everyday wonder, bringing a sense of living that dream, and bringing the idea of gentleness and joy and love to anything that we do in our work. Heck, even silliness into our work, a sense of unity with that appreciation of our work. So that's where the living the dream comes to life for me. I mean, I'm 64 years old. I have gone from scooping the ice cream at the Frankfurt, Illinois cone shop to performing on Broadway or the White House or around the world to managing a Fortune 500 company law department for a general counsel and managing a big city, middle-sized law firm, and being a licensed professional spiritual practitioner, which is now my ministry, which is now my work. And I see such good in that. I've had such a relationship with my works. Has anybody ever had a negative experience at work? See, that's why I'm here, because I'm the only one who has. And so I get to talk about work, so I can work through it in front of all of you, and you can just love me while I do it, because you have no relationship to having a problem at work. I remember one particular time I was in Los Angeles. I had such love for this job. I had such excitement. My expectation was so high. My desire for this job was so great. And everywhere present, I got to see people who were just god-awful hateful. And people who did not appreciate the love that I had for this job or this. And over time, I had the experience of going, perhaps this isn't the job for me. And then I kicked myself for staying with the job for 2 years. And then the other day I thought, there are people that may have stayed with that job. Dean, you may have stayed with that job for 10 years. Good for you. I saw the good of what I learned from those people, and I got to move on. And that moving on from that negative thing, that I can see them all right there and love them. That's how I saw good in even a negative situation at work. So as you might be aware of a negative situation in your past work lives, I'm sure none of your work lives now have any negativity at all. In your past work life, that to reframe it with a sense of love, you can go back to what you've identified and change the story and identify that you are living the dream now as you were living your dream then, from how you've grown, how you've celebrated. Maybe you've had a few tears. But that's the idea of looking at our work. We can look at anything like this. We can look at our relationships. We can look at our playtime. We can look at our families. We can look at anything. But this month, we're looking at work. That idea that there's such good work that we all do and that we can do. But the idea of having a dream job, I'm just going to call it the dream job. That idea of going out into the world and finding a dream job. You know what it's like to have a dream. Well, I was talking about a job that was more of a nightmare job than a dream job. But to take that idea of those good dreams that we have, those ideas that have expectation of good, and to connect them with our job, to connect them with our intention of our job. So, okay, all right, so you know that I'm older than water and I've worked all over the place and I'm from the Midwest and I'm releasing a little bit of this expectation of work, work, work. So our journey begins today in our exploration. So if you are able, stand up and let's get a little bit of energy going on. Because, for those of you who value moving your bodies a little bit, it's pre-dawn here at Center for Spiritual Living. And a little bit of a, And let's start with our affirmation. The dream of God is awake and alive in me. The dream of God is awake and alive in me. No. That was bad and wrong. Oh, there's my work ethic going in. The dream of God is alive. What you said. God, I love that. I love that. Thank you for engaging. You can sit down if you want. You can go in the back and dance if you want. Marianne, you can meditate if it'll get you more hours for your licensing. We're there for you. We're there for you. Ernest Holmes writes in his book, Science of Mind, A Philosophy of Faith, A Way of Life. He writes, all our beautiful dreams, all our wishing and praying for material good will reach no higher in our experience than our belief in the power of God and His willingness to help. The Science of Mind, a philosophy of faith, a way of life. How is your faith? I'm just curious. How is your faith involved in your career choice, in your professional life? Where does faith work into your career, into your professional qualities, into your work, into your service? Where does faith, because I think faith is a really key element of the path that we're on with this alignment of good in the workplace, good in our work. So I think the recipe for faith really is equal parts of trust and love and expectations of good and flow. Especially when I feel like I'm not in faith. I go back to, okay, where is my trust? I'm curious, where is my trust right now? What am I trusting in? Am I trusting in a power that is greater than me, that is expressing in, through, and as me? Yes. Am I experiencing love right here and right now in this experience? Yes. Do I have an expectation of good? Yes. And flow? Yes. So that's my expectation. Now, Ernie Holmes, as I call him, he has a recipe as well. His is a little bit more involved, but I love it. It is this thing called a mental equivalent. And he says in Creative Mind and Success, he says, if we are to draw from life what we want, we must first think it forth into life. It always produces what we think. In order to have success, we must first conceive it in our own thought. Because the flow of life into manifestation through us must take the form we give it. If we want a thing, we must have within ourselves a mental equivalent before we get it. A mental equivalent. So in Science of Mind, we often talk about mental equivalent. It really is, in my belief, the core teaching. See? You agree. It is the core teaching of what we talk about in Science of Mind, is to put a picture into your mind and allow it to unfold. So just blink your eyes closed just for a second, if you're comfortable with that. And just consider that you are now living the mental equivalent you put into life. Just close your eyes for a second, if you would, and focus that you are now living the mental equivalent of the life you put into place. That's the life you're living. You can blink your eyes open if you'd like. That's the life you're living. This life that you're living is the mental equivalent that you've put into place. That's great news. It's not like you have to learn how to do mental equivalents. This is what's happening. We just get to tweak it a little bit. What? Okay, I'd like to turn up a little bit more joy in my life. Maybe turn out a little bit of judgment down. A little bit more rest in my life. This is the mental equivalent that we all can choose for ourselves at any time. And that's why, especially, we have a class coming up. I'm so, well, gosh, I wasn't even going to mention that till here, but the consciousness and the creative process. Your consciousness and your creative process. You'll be able to be with Reverend Kathleen to identify where you can adjust your consciousness and your creative process to bring forth that life that is the next place of your goodness. And now I'm completely lost. We've been through mental equivalent. We've been through, you know that. Okay, great. I'm here. This idea that I wonder what are the characteristics of the dream job that you have. And so many times we just have to ask ourselves, what is your heart vision? What's your heart vision? Where the heart wants what the heart wants. Where is your heart bringing you right now? What is it that you're wanting? And a lot of people go to the whole thing of, from my job, I want money. Money, 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 money. I'm just here to bring up the idea that abundance, a sense of abundance, comes before cash. Some folks think that cash comes and then you've got abundance, right? I mean, it makes sense. I get the dollar bills in, I got them, there's abundance. But the way the universe works is your awareness of abundance, your belief and your faith in the idea that this is an abundant universe comes first. And then the abundance starts showing up in various places. Abundance comes from known and unknown sources. So to be aware that that abundance that you are desiring through your work comes from your sense of desire for abundance of the universe. To understand that we are all one with the universe, experiencing and expressing the abundance of the universe, and that is where that cold hard cash comes in, where the checks, where the GoFundMes come in, from that sense of abundance. I'm just curious, that dream job that you want. Are you guys planning on what the dream job is going to be here? You guys are got this. Oh, they're just working on the dream job there in the back. Yep. Melanie is going, what kind of dream job do you want? She says, Grandma, what kind of job do I get to have? Hi. Oh, sorry, but I digress. The Buddha said, the Buddha speaks of the repetition of good. And he's got a quote. Do we have? Yes. Okay. So in one of his texts, it is translated that the Buddha said, should a person do good, let him do it again and again. Let him find pleasure therein. For blissful is the accumulation of good. Blissful is the accumulation of good. This is actually, there's a paraphrase of this. It's a good paraphrase. And it says that set your heart on doing good. Do it over and over again, and you will be filled with joy. Set your heart on doing good, do it over and over again, and you will be filled with joy. Set your heart on doing good, do it over and over again, and you will be filled with joy. I get on my feet on the floor in the morning, and I get to say, set your heart on doing good, do it over and over again, and you will be filled with joy. When we're looking at our workplace, can we say, I'm at the photocopier. I'm going to set my heart on the spirit of good, do it over and over again, and I will be filled with joy. For every page that goes through this photocopier, my joy will become more and more increased. And if it's double-side printing and it's saving some trees, even better. And if I can send it to somebody in a PDF, even better. The more I focus on this, my joy will increase. Khalil Gibran said in The Prophet on work, he said, this is so poetic. And it's a little bit changed. I've changed one word, but. And I say that life is indeed darkness, save when life. And I say that life is indeed darkness, save when there is urge. And all urge is blind, save when there is knowledge. And all knowledge is vain, save when there is work. And all work is empty, save when there is love. And when you work with love, you bind yourself to yourself and one another and to God. And he concludes with love. Work is love made visible. Work. Have you ever thought of your work? Good times, not so good times, great jobs, not so great. Your work, whatever it is love made visible. I'd never thought of that until I became a practitioner. That my work is love made visible, and that all of our work is love made visible. There is okay, so I read you through the mental equivalent. It was a lot of text, and it was all Ernest Holmes, and it talks about us mentally coming up with an idea and repeating it. But I'm a guy of music. Sometimes the words don't fit with me. So I thought, what really could... Well, the other day I was running up and down stairs. I was doing one thing or one another, and I was preparing for the talk, and I was going, what do we... Do you know what that's from? Yes. The Seven Dwarfs, Snow White. Snow White. Snow White singing, whistle while you work, and doing the whistling, and all of the mental equivalent just kind of poured right into there, and I was kind of bounding upstairs after that. Just to use a little bit, does anybody whistle or hum here? Whistle or hum? We're going to do whistling or hum, so let's just do a little list. It goes like this. Oh, you've taken it. Great, I like this. She's got it. Candace, are you going to join the choir? We're going to start a whistling choir. So let's do it all together. We could take it up a third, but I won't. That idea of, folks, when you get out of here and you're in your car, if you remember that idea that your lightness is your choice. Your goodness is your choice. And if not, you can just always think of Snow White, which always gives me a great time. I love Snow White. Okay, so thank you. We're going to just close out here with everybody breathe in for 7 counts. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold it for 7 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Breathe out for 7 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold it for 7 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Continue to repeat your breathing in that manner. I call this the 7777 breathing miracle cure. Calms our neurosystem, brings us in a state of meditative joy, meditative peace, or meditative consternation. Just as you're thinking, at this place in your life, what is the dream job that you want to manifest in your life? What is that dream job that you want to manifest? That dream experience, that dream relationship, that dream baby. What is it that you want to experience in your life? Keep breathing. Keep breathing. So we have this intention in what spiritual practice are you going to put into place that calls to you to do a little scientific experiment with this piece of joy, this mental equivalent? Will you pray? Will you meditate? Will you journal? Will you use affirmations? Will you be of service? Will you tithe? Will you take the consciousness and creative process class? Will you forgive Dean for his blatant plug of a class? Will you use appreciation? Will you dare to forgive? Dare to forgive. Continue your breathing. And now, what human actions might you take? What human actions might you take to take one blissful step toward that experience of living your dream? And now finally, and remarkably importantly, how will you note the progress in your creative process, in your dream life? How will you note the progress? And how will you celebrate it? And you can blink your eyes open if you'd like. Let's just a few closing words. May God's spark within shine its light. May the flame of love burn so bright that the whole world can see our true reality is the awesome abundance of life. The quiet wisdom among these thoughts is to never give up on what speaks to and through you. Nurture it, trust it, love it, live it. As Ernest Holmes writes in We Can Talk to God, we are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What shall we produce? We are chemists in the laboratory of the infinite. What shall we produce? Let's pray. Recognizing that life is here and now present and expressing as this magnificent idea of creativity and love and light. I recognize that this prayer is blessed. This sanctuary is blessed, and every participant in this service, in every place, is blessed. And that God is blessing all of us, in, through, and as all of us, that we are unified in the love and the light of this place, this time, and our work in the world. Whatever our heart calls us to do in the world, we are whole, perfect, and complete. We see new possibility. We see contentment. We feel love in our work. I know that this love is a cycle that begins as one, that launches from our centered awareness and creates the cycle of love. May our hands become the hands of love in our work. May our hands become the hands of love in our life. We celebrate this unified, powerful, beloved community and all members of the magnificent community we call the Center for Spiritual Living Delaware. We give great thanks for all beings of service. We give great thanks for the mental equivalent that has brought this center into life and moves it to its next place. We are so grateful for this knowing. We are so grateful for all of our practitioners and our beloved Reverend Dr. Kathleen Johnson, who holds the high watch for each and every one of us. We are so grateful for this knowing. We are so grateful for this answered prayer. And I release this word knowing that it is done. And so it is done. And together we say yes. And so it is. Blessing. Thank you, Deb.